I'm Vinnie Politan. Thanks so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. And we've covered a lot of trials through the years here at Court TV. I've covered a lot of trials and a lot of murder trials. And generally speaking, murder trials take a while to prove. Sometimes it takes a week, a couple weeks, a couple months. It could take 8 months, 9 months. It all depends, right? Depends on the facts, depends on the circumstances, the evidence. But sometimes in some jurisdictions in this country, things move very rapidly. I mean, really fast. In this snake breeder murder trial that we're covering here on Court TV, we're in Missouri. And apparently in Missouri, in this jurisdiction, you could do it really quickly, unbelievably fast, in less than 2 days. Prosecutors have put in all the evidence they believe they need against Lynn Lee Rennick. You don't believe me? Take a look at what happened today.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would rest.
All right, state rest.
They rested. They rested. That means they've put in all the evidence necessary from their perspective to prove the case beyond any and all reasonable doubt. Still a fascinating part of the work that I do here at Court TV, because we cover trials all around the country. And I'm telling you, you take the same case and move it from, in this case, Columbia, Missouri, and put it out in California, put it in Massachusetts, maybe New Jersey. That thing could take weeks or months. But justice, perhaps in 2 days? Did they do enough to prove the case beyond any and all reasonable doubt? Well, let's take a look at some of the most important evidence in the case. Watch.
And then I heard a shot come out, which inside there was extremely loud, so I kind of ducked a little bit. I looked down through there, and she was at the end of the corridor, or whatever you want to call it, posed up like this with a gun.
And so you hear one shot and react to that.
Yeah.
And then look down to where they're at.
Right.
And when you look down there, how is Ben positioned if you can see him?
I couldn't see him at that point.
Where he was at?
Yeah, I actually couldn't see him.
So he at least wasn't standing upright.
Right.
Okay. You could see her though?
Right.
And you said she was, if you could stand up and show how she was positioned.
Something kind of like this.
Okay. And then did you say you heard more shots?
As I turned and went out the door, I thought 2 to 3 more, and then another 1 or 2 after I was outside.
You weren't counting though, were you?
I was not.
But you heard, would it be fair to say you heard several more after that initial shot?
Right.
But you turned and ran out the door?
Correct.
Where did you go?
To my car.
Did you leave?
Not immediately. I pulled the door open, and I'm looking back up there to kind of see what's going on. It was a few seconds. She comes out the door. I'm still standing there. She runs around to the passenger side of the car and starts screaming at me to drive, basically.
And when you tell us how you began. She said you've had this conversation about murdering him. How does that conversation wind up with you two actually attempting to kill Ben Rennick?
She had gone over a couple different, possibilities, and it didn't really seem like any of those were likely. So she kind of suggested or brought it up that maybe she should poison him.
And so what were some of these other possibilities or seniarios that she went over with you, if you recall?
She asked if I knew anyone that could get her a gun. I think that's pretty much all. Trying to figure out if she knew someone that had a gun.
So she asked you about if you knew anyone that had a gun?
Yes.
And what did you tell her about it?
No.
And after she learned that you didn't know anybody that had access to a gun, what was the next subject or idea that Lynn Lee came up with?
The poisoning.
Okay. And when you say poisoning, tell us about how you guys arrived at a plan and actually took action to poison Ben.
I provided her with some pills, and she blended them up in a blender and put them in a protein shake for him to drink.
Lynn Lee was the sole beneficiary.
Correct.
But at some point, a beneficiary change was made, correct?
It was.
Did that pertain to Lindley or the contingent beneficiaries?
Just the contingent beneficiaries.
And that means if Lindley is not around to receive this money because she has passed, someone else would get it.
Correct.
And who were the contingent beneficiaries?
Amelia and Matthew.
And that last form then was Ben acknowledging that he had made this change to include both kids, not just one.
The acknowledgement was from the insurance company that said that they acknowledge and have made that change.
So at the time of Ben's death on June 8th of 2017, the state of this insurance policy was that Lindley Rennick, and only Lindley Rennick, was to receive $1 million.
Correct.
$1 million, million reasons. Is that enough to prove a motive in this case? Number one. Then you've got the ex-con, ex-lover, who was convicted of this murder, right, as a co-defendant in a prior trial, but was given a deal where he'll have an opportunity somewhere, maybe down the road, to get paroled out somewhere down the road. And then you've got the friend employee who helped her whip up the Percocet protein shake that was supposed to poison Ben, but apparently didn't work. Is this enough to prove murder in 2 days? Let's bring in our think tank. Joining us tonight in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Al Wunsch III. In Seattle, Washington, trial attorney Ann Bremner. And in Atlanta, Georgia, criminal defense attorney, former federal prosecutor and law professor at Texas Southern University, Michael Sterling. Welcome to everyone. I'm going to start with Michael tonight. Can you prove a murder case in 2 days? And is this enough? The ex-con, ex-lover, the employee/friend, and the $1 million policy.
Yeah, well, not if Al or Ann are the defense attorneys, you wouldn't be able to prove it in 2 days. But in this particular instance, Vinny, it seems like they have proved it in 2 days. Sometimes it's best to just, prosecutors, I had a saying when I was a prosecutor, just the facts, ma'am. So just stick to the facts, keep it simple, try to get directly to the issue. And in this case, it seems like the prosecutors did that. They didn't overwhelm the jury with too much information, too much evidence. They got right to the facts, right to the key witnesses, and, rested their case. So I think, if they believe they've gotten there beyond a reasonable doubt, no need to overwhelm the jury with a bunch of unnecessary information. You've proved your case, prove it, and get out of there.
And Bremner, we have covered so many trials that have taken so much longer through the years. And later this hour, we're going to talk about Scott Peterson. We were out in Redwood City for, weeks, months. It was years ago, but 2 days to prove a murder like this, what do you think? Enough?
Well, I think so, and I wanted to thank Michael for the vote of confidence, and Al and myself. But, that Scott Peterson case went on forever, and of course, we're going to have a resentencing here, I think it's tomorrow. But I think that they've done it in 2 days, and it's that old saying, be brief, be brilliant, be seated, and that's what they did.
Al, what do you think? 2 days? Could you do a murder trial in Jersey in just 2 days?
Then, let's face it, Missouri is the show-me state, and they are showing me how to do a trial in 2 days. It looks absolutely perfect. They've given motive, they've given eyewitness testimony, and they've got everything done. It's short and sweet and will lead to a defense defeat.
All right. I did something. I did it on purpose, though. We buried the lead today. We buried the lead. Take a listen to this.
So, Mr. Hesselman, I've got your permission to inquire of your client as to her testimonial rights?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Rennick, you understand you have a constitutional right not to testify. You understand that?
Yes.
And do you understand that if you choose not to testify, that decision will not be held against you? And do you understand that the jury can and will be instructed, if your attorney wants me to give that instruction, to draw no adverse inference from your decision not to testify? Do you understand that if you do choose to testify, the prosecutor's going to have the right to cross-examine you, and you know what that is, okay? And that could include questions about any prior criminal convictions you may have, and I don't know if you've got any, but that could be included, okay? do you want more time to talk to your attorneys about this decision, whether or not to testify?
No.
You,
No, thank you. I don't need more time to talk to them about it.
well, you think she does, don't you?
I don't understand what you're...
Usually we do this during, like, the jury's out, they're coming in. The question is, does she have adequate time to talk to her attorneys about testifying or not?
Yes, she has.
She has?
Yes.
Okay. Well, do you want to testify?
Yes.
You do? Okay. And you understand everything I've gone over with you about that decision?
Yes.
And you understand that you should consult with your attorneys about that decision, but it's ultimately yours alone to make. Okay?
She's going to testify tomorrow. She's taking the stand tomorrow. All right, who wants in first on this one?
I'll go in first on this. She had no other recourse. There was nothing to lose at this stage of the game. She has to get up there and she has to talk about the fact that there was a motive for the two of them to lie, that she's had arguments with them in the past, that he's madly in love with her, and then she was not going to go with him, and therefore he killed her husband, and that it is going to be the old bait and switch. She's going to have to go in there and be full force attack on a disgruntled employee, a disgruntled ex-boyfriend, and the situation that if I didn't get the money, my kids got it, so it was no big deal.
We've seen this happen. We've seen this work two different ways, Vinny, in the last 2 weeks, right? We saw Kyle Rittenhouse take the stand in his own defense and turned out favorable for him. And then we saw Travis McMichael take the stand in his own defense and in the defense of his co-defendants, and didn't work out so well for them. So it'll be interesting to see what this tiebreaker looks like for the last month. But I agree with Al. It doesn't seem like she has much of a choice. She's the only person who can give an alternative theory to what the prosecution has argued and has proven in court. And without her testimony, it doesn't seem like you have much of a defense.
And to me, the most difficult thing for her to explain is, okay, is she going to say that she was there at the time? Is she going to say that she was there with Humphrey and Humphrey did it? I didn't do it, but he did it. All right, so why didn't you say something? He just killed your husband, but she said nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think she is going to be like a witness for the prosecution, frankly. I don't see her getting very far. I know that I agree with Alan Michaels. She's the only chance she has, but it's not a very good. How's she going to explain that? He shot my husband 8 times. I didn't say anything. I didn't think he was going to kill me next. What about the poisoning? How did that whole thing go down? And by the way, your employee, did she have a thing against your husband? Who had the $1 million insurance, policy? And by the way, who was having financial problems? Oh, it's all you. The bullseye's right here on her in terms of how all the facts align in terms of motive, opportunity, and the actual evidence we heard in just 2 days.
Michael, what are prosecutors doing tonight as they prepare for this cross-examination?
And licking their chops, Vinny. Prosecutors don't get a lot of opportunities for cross-examination. It's rare, and it's especially rare that the defendant waives their Fifth Amendment right and takes the stand. So what you have is the prosecutors. One of the things the prosecutors have is an entire team of detectives and police officers and investigators who are probably trying to help and assist the prosecutor in finding everything they can. So the prosecutor has a team of probably 7 to 11 people helping prepare for this cross-examination tomorrow. And you can anticipate that because of the delay, if the prosecutor had to do it on the spot, if they called her real quick and she asked some answers, they may have some difficulty, but giving them the night to prepare, they're going to have their entire team pulling all of the information, all of the evidence, anything they can catch her up on, and they're going to be prepared tomorrow, Vinny, to give her a thorough cross-examination.
Al, as you said, it's the only play here. It does change the nature of a trial, though, right? When the defendant testifies, all of a sudden it becomes almost like a referendum on do we or don't we believe her? And She has been able to fool a lot of people for many years. Her in-laws primarily, because no one suspected that she was up to all the things that she was up to at that spa. Being a very social person with other men at the spa. I mean, no one had an idea. No one had a clue about any of this. So, Al, is there a chance that she could bat those eyelashes and perhaps, convince one or more of the jurors?
Well, this is the opportunity for the defense to humanize her, because the entire first half of the trial has been the dehumanization of her throughout this, that she is an adulterer, that she had money problems, that she was greedy, that she was manipulative, that she is using sex as a weapon. And now they're going to get a chance to show her as demure, coquettish, up there, and she's going to cry, and she's going to do look, you have a perfect example that was, brought up before with Rittenhouse. Okay, get up there and do that little song and dance routine, and it could work out that maybe one juror would say, this was a battered woman who had been sexually abused by this man.
Well, it's starting to sound more like Jodi Arias than Kyle Rittenhouse, to be honest with you, Al.
Well, no, I don't disagree with that. But what I'm saying is that he got up there and started blubbering like there was no tomorrow. And if she gets up there and starts crying and starts talking about how she was sexually abused by this man, and that, that not only was she abused by him, but the ex-boyfriend was abusing her also, and that the employees were abusing her, and that, what was said before by Ann, that the employee, what's her motive? Well, if she loses her job, okay, she's got no place to work. So maybe if she's telling her, listen, my husband wants to close this place, I want to keep it open. Well, let's poison him, says the employee. She got off pretty easily on this whole thing, but she got full immunity and is testifying without any other problems. So I think that the move has got to be to humanize, okay, and to show that she is as much a victim as the dead man.
All right, we shall see. It's all happening tomorrow, folks.